8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, it's Jessica here from EN Publishing, and this is our March monthly live stream. It's a week later than it was going to be. I apologize, that was my fault. I got COVID last week, which, 2023, people still getting COVID. Can you believe it? But yeah, so please excuse a little cough and a cold voice I still have. But yeah, we're here to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, we're going to be mostly talking about To Save a Kingdom, which is our upcoming Kickstarter project, which is going to be happening next month, which I'm very excited about. It's the next new Level Up book from us, and in the link, I popped it in the chat and the one on the screen there. So if you could click follow on there, that'd be such a big help, because people that follow Kickstarter campaigns before they start, it really helps make the campaign do well, lets other people see it, and it doesn't cost you anything. So if you're watching and you're free to just click follow for the campaign on Kickstarter, that'd be a really big help. Thank you so much. But yeah, so this week I'm going to just jump into it and talk you through all the things we've been up to, what we're going to be doing in the future at EN Publishing. The first thing I'm going to let you know about is that we are having a sale. So if you like 50% off things, this is a good time for you. So on our website, enpublishingrpg.com, we are 50% off some of our 5th edition books. So two of our most popular 5th edition books, we have the Masterclass Codex, and this gives you 16 new character classes for your 5e games. So this is for O5E. So if you're still playing that, like mixing and matching with Level Up, using 5e, the Masterclass Codex is for that. We have sold out in the US, but we do still have copies in the UK and Europe on our website there. So if you're interested in getting Masterclass Codex, you can pick that up there. But unfortunately in the US, completely sold out because of the sale. And the other book we have is Mythological Figures and Maleficent Monsters. Now, this is like over 100 heroes, villains, monsters, and this is the O5E version of it. We do have a Level Up Advanced 5th edition version as well, but they are pretty compatible. As we talked about before, Level Up was designed to be backwards compatible, so you could still use this book if you're using Level Up Advanced 5th edition. The difference is this, that, Mythological Figures, the 5E version is £50, I believe, but on sale the O5E version is just £20, so it's on at 50% off. So if you are wanting to get over 100 different NPCs or monsters, check that out on the site. We've also got loads of screenshots on the website showing through the pages and all the details, so you can take a look there. But that's just £20 at the moment, so it's on a really good deal. We still have copies in North America as well, so if you're watching from there, that one is still in stock. So if you go to enpublishingrpg.com, there's 50% off those books there, and you can check out all the other D&D O5E books we have as well. In the Dungeons and Dragons category, we've got all of our books there, so you can scroll through and take a look if you're playing O5E still, which is no problem. So yeah, so that's what's going on with that. But Level Up Advanced 5th edition stuff and things is happening as well. So the Dungeon Delver's Guide, we did that Kickstarter that ended in October last year, and the shipping and fulfillment, touch wood, has gone really well. We were ahead of the shipping plan for it, so we started shipping out in the UK and Europe in February, and then in March we were shipping out to the rest of the world as well. So a lot of people have already got their books for the Dungeons and Devils Guide, so everybody should have their books definitely by April. We've put details on the updates there, so if you haven't got your book, or if you haven't received a tracking email by the end of March, get in touch with us to let us know. But otherwise, yeah, we've sent out all the books. That fulfillment's kind of done, dusted. It's gone really well from my perspective, from a logistics point of view, which is really good. So I hope you're all really enjoying the Dungeon Devil's Guide. It's a really great book. I think it's really exciting for me. As I've talked about before, I'm just exploring starting to be a game master, being a narrator, and this book makes me feel so much more confident about running things. So if you're new to things, I'd say it's really good. But then I've had a lot of veteran GMs also tell me that they're really enjoying it as well. So I don't think it's just exclusively that, but just talking about my experience from that. But yeah, so Level Up Advanced 5th edition Dungeons Delver's Guide is complete. We also did the Gate Pass Gazette in January. And the fulfillment for that is all been sent out. We've sent all the books out, so they are on their way to you. Again, you should have received a tracking email if you check the updates to check where that is in there, but you should have received a tracking email by now. So the fulfillment from that, from our perspective, we've sent everything out from the warehouse, so it's just spending its time getting its way to you in shipping. But yeah, so that's kind of going really well as well. We also had Keep Your Powder Dry, which is a little quick starter campaign for A5E we did recently, and we had a really great amount of support on that, which is really nice to see. So thank you so much. The deadline for telling us your address if you're a backer of that campaign is tomorrow. I did do an update today just to remind you. Like 95% of people have given us completed the survey and given us their address, so it's very unlikely that you're one of the few people that hasn't. But I have sent you a message if it's you. So if you've supported that campaign, you're like, oh, I can't remember if I gave them my address, I can't believe I did the survey. Check your Kickstarter inbox. If you haven't, there'll be a message from me going, hey, can I have your address, please? So if there's not any message from me there saying that, then you know you're absolutely fine. But you can also pop in the comments, and if you just really need to triple check, I've done that for a couple of people as well. But yeah, so the deadline for that is tomorrow. So if you fill that out, Keep Your Powder Dry. And then I'll be sending them out to you next week, pretty much is the plan. So just keeping it going. It's all going really quick, which is great. If you missed that Kickstarter, I've had a few people that missed that and want to pick up the book. That will be available on our website over the summer. We like to just do the fulfillment first. It'll probably be like August time. It'll be on empublishingrpg.com. You'll be able to pick up that book in a few months' time. We just want to make sure backers who get it next month have kind of the first dibs and get to see it all on there first. But yeah, so shipping and fulfillment going really well, all chugging along really nicely. And also I've been busy at the moment because I was sick last week. I'm a little bit behind on it, but as you know, we do sponsorships for actual plays for Level Up Advanced 5th edition, and the deadline was in early March for people to send in their applications so we can sponsor campaigns that are happening April, May and June. I was going through and reviewing all those, but I was off sick last week, so I'm a little bit behind. But my plan is to try to, by the end of next week, definitely have reviewed everyone's application and get in touch with everybody to let them know who we're sponsoring. So we picked 3 people to sponsor to let people know who we're sponsoring and send regrets to those we're not. I'm a little bit behind on that from being sick, so I do apologize, but it's just because it's actual play applications. We ask people to send in videos of them doing actual plays along with their submission. So it takes a bit of time for me to review it fairly because I want to give everyone that's applied the time and make sure I watch their stuff, and it just feels like the bare minimum for me to spend the time reviewing the application fully. But yeah, so next week I'll hopefully be in touch with people there. But if you are just hearing about this for the first time and you didn't apply and you're like, I wish I knew about this, well, you can apply now. So we're accepting applications for campaigns that are happening July to September. So if you do Level Up Advanced 5th edition podcast or an actual play live stream, or you do a stream that you kind of pre-record and then post on YouTube or something like that, absolutely want to hear about it. We offer a sponsorship. So if you're planning on it running between July and September, you have between now and the 29th of May, so the end of May, to apply for sponsorship. And what we do, sponsorship, we plug it on our website on EN World Live. We talk about it there. We give you $400, so you can put that towards, buying equipment or whatever you need, software or anything like that for your stream. And we just basically, we love seeing Level Up Advanced 5th edition streams happening. Yes, I'm always excited to see them. So please do apply. The website you go to do that is enworld.live/sponsorship. Or if you go to enworld.live, you'll see the link there as well to get sponsored there. And there's just a form to fill out telling us who you are, what you're doing, who's been playing it. And if you have, we do need you to have some sort of actual play or podcast you've done before so we can have a listen and see what you like, really. But yeah, had some really great applications for that. So thank you for sending it in. If you are one of those people that sent in an application, please bear with me. I am going through and reviewing them, and I will get back to you next week on that to let you know whether or not you've been selected for that. But yeah, so that's kind of the things we're going on with Level Up Advanced 5th edition. But the main reason we're all here today, and the thing that I've come on to talk about, oh, by the way, if you have any questions, this is meant to be an informal chat. So just pop them in the chat and I will answer them live if you have any questions about anything going on. But yeah, so To Save a Kingdom. So this is the next book that we've been working on this for a while, actually. It was in development last year. So this is an epic adventure path, and this follows on from Memories of Holdenshire. So if you're familiar with Memories of Holdenshire, that's an adventure for levels 1 to 3, and it's made to be an introduction to Level Up Advanced 5th edition. So as you go through the story, you'll pick up new elements that show you kind of the difference between A5E if you're used to that, and just kind of shows you some of the cool differences and the things you can do with Level Up Advanced 5th edition. So some of you watching have played Memories of Holdenshire. This follows on that adventure path from there. You don't need to have played it, so the characters in the game and the players in the game don't need to know about that adventure and story, so it's not a requirement, but it is just quite cool because it's, you know, it's like you kind of know the backstory and the information of it leads you into it. So we will be doing a bundle of that if you haven't played that adventure through as well. But yeah, it follows on from Memories of Holdenshire, and it's set in LSR in our setting, and this adventure path it's really epic. It'll take you through from level 3 all the way up to 13th level, and it's split into kind of 3 parts, so you can level up your characters and kind of know where you're going. So it's got 3 kind of key sections to it. We have released these adventures in 5th edition format before, and I believe some of them are available for Pathfinder as well. So you can get them there, but with this book we have collated it all together, we've fleshed it out, we've added a load of stuff, it looks really great. It's in layout at the moment. We are just finishing it off. As you know, with EM Publishing Kickstarters, when we do a Kickstarter, we have the PDF ready to go so that the second, if not the minute the Kickstarter campaign ends, we send you the PDF straight away. Because I always really hate that when you back something on Kickstarter and then it's months and months go by and then you suddenly get something and you forgot you even backed it. So we instantly get you the PDF. Now the book we have to like print and ship places, so that's not quite as quick, but we do plan to have the books with you in September time, so we're looking again for a really quick turnaround, exactly the same as we had Dungeon Delver's Guide. We're using the same processes, we're using the same partners, the same printers and everything, so I'm hoping this will go just as smoothly and we'll get them to you in September time with a really quick turnaround for the books, but the PDFs will be with you instantly. The book's in layout currently, just finalizing everything on there, making sure everything's linked and looking good. But I'm so excited for this adventure path. So let me tell you a little bit more about it. Jump in, ask questions if you have it. This is designed for Level Up Advanced 5th edition. Of course, as we've mentioned before, it is backwards compatible, so you can use it with 5th edition, although we do have this adventure path available for 5th edition as well. So you can use it kind of for either, but it works best with Level Up Advanced 5th edition because of the way we've built it. So as I mentioned, we have split this adventure up into kind of 3 parts. So the first, so To Save a Kingdom is in 3 parts. It's called To Slay a Dragon, To Stake a Vampire, To Smite a Fiend. And the titles hopefully are a little bit explanatory of the flavor and the vibe of what's going on there. But To Slay a Dragon, slaying dragons, having encounters with dragons feels such a classic tabletop RPG thing to do, and I think it's just a fun thing to do. It's this big epic thing that you can do, and we really wanted to include that and have that. So it's kind of like a classic thing, you know, but is revisited in a very fresh and kind of different way. So this adventure, so the first part, To Slay a Dragon, will take you through from 3rd to 7th level. So there's quite a lot going on here. And what I really like about this adventure is it starts off, you're in this town of Hainsbury in Holdenshire. And there's all these optional things that you can kind of do in the town with these different people for like quests and little ventures and side paths, and it makes the town feel like a real place and makes your characters feel invested in the area. They care about the town of Hainsbury and the people in there because they know so and so and they did this, and it gives you links and it introduces you to the area, makes it feel very kind of alive and vibrant, and again makes your characters feel like they have a relationship with people. It's not like random NPC number 5 wants your attention. Like there's a person here and they're doing a thing, and I really like the way that's done. It's also optional because it kind of just, which it doesn't feel railroady, because what you can kind of do as a GM is you just lay out the scenario to your players and be like, you're in this town, there's all this stuff going on, and so they can just pick and choose what they find interesting. And the way the book is written is that if they don't go over there and follow that thing, that's fine. don't worry about it. It's not like in some adventure paths, you know, where you need them to take the bait and do the thing. It's not like that in the beginning. In the beginning area, it's really just like see what they find interesting and let them kind of explore that area, and that goes really well. It also gives a really nice foundation, and obviously it ends with slay a dragon. It's going to build up to that. We all know to slay a dragon. But yeah, this adventure path, taking you to 3rd to 7th level, I really enjoy it. It's a really nice adventure path, and also it's really great for people who are exploring Level Up Advanced 5th edition, because as you level up between 3rd and 7th level in A5E, if you're familiar with it, there's so many changes and cool stuff people are learning to do as we go, and this adventure is giving them stuff to use that with. So as they level up, they're going to be like, oh yeah, now I get to do this thing. So I really like that about it. But as I mentioned before, we obviously here's some of the cool maps as well. So we have the maps of the interior of the mountain and the stuff going on there. So pretty maps, pretty artwork, of course. But what I wanted to talk about was the next second part of the adventure path, which is sorry, to stake a vampire. Now, to slay a dragon, it follows on from there, and to stake a vampire is from 7th to 10th level, so it's getting a little bit more high stakes here. And again, the title, really guess what's going to happen. But this is really a very traditional horror module, and I love that in the first part, in to slay a dragon, your characters are going to get introduced to all the people in Hainsbury, in this area in Holdenshire. And then this adventure, it starts off back there because these people that you know, that you've built relationships with, this area that you've explored, that you know about, that's when you find something's wrong, and that kind of leads you into the adventure. And that, I think, kind of feeds into the traditional horror of this part of the adventure, because your characters, these are people that they know. And I'm trying to talk through it without too many spoilers. I hope that's the right way to go. But ask me if you have any questions. But yeah, so I think the way that to slay a dragon builds on and lets people grow, lift up their characters with these NPCs in this environment that they know about, and then that really makes to stake a vampire the horror of the situation that kind of happens, and the scenario. It really adds to it and builds on it, so it makes it kind of part of it. But yeah, and then lastly, and also there's a very cool vampiric dire bear that I've shown a picture of there, because yes, don't we love that? Who doesn't love a vampiric dire bear immediately? But yeah, and then it builds on again. The adventure goes further, and we have to smite a fiend last of all. So if your adventurers obviously complete to stake a vampire, the horror is done. There's a moment of calm in the adventure path, where your adventure's gonna be like, okay, that's sorted, everything's okay. And then we have the piece kind of shattered as this local kind of dabbler in arcane takes studies a bit too far, and this becomes very epic because it's not just endangering Holdenshire, the area you're in. It's like LSR continentally an issue, which is great because your characters are level 10th to 13th. And yeah, it's very big, it's very epic, and the whole campaign, it just feeds into it really nicely. Really big book. I think it's like, I'm forgetting how many pages now. I'm doing a bad job, doing this here. But yeah, the adventure path, it's really epic, really big area, taking you through all those levels. And Smite a Fiend, for me, I really like milestone leveling up as well, and the way it's structured, leveling by milestone works really well, because there's kind of 3 chapters of this part, if that makes sense. And so it makes sense that when they complete that thing, to let them level up to do that thing, so they get to the 13th level by the time they're doing the end here, when they are smiting the fiend. But yeah, I'm so excited for this adventure path. Like I say, it follows on from Memories of Holdenshire, so if you have played that and you're used to if you liked the style of storytelling there, this is really going to carry that on for you. And I'm very excited about this book as well. Like I say, it's in layout at the moment, and you can use Level Up Advanced 5th edition, which is what it's designed for. It will be backwards compatible with 5e, so you can check that out as well. And yeah, if you're at all interested in any of this, I'd love it if you could go to the Kickstarter page, Save a Kingdom, and just click follow on there to be notified when we launch, so you can check it out more and get a few more details. Like I say, the PDF will be with you immediately the minute the Kickstarter ends. We're launching in April, so it will be with you in May, so you'll be able to run this game in May time, and we're looking to have the books with you by September. So if you, like me, prefer to run games out of a book, then it'll be with you September time as well. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of snippet of information about To Save a Kingdom. Please do, if you have any questions, jump in and ask in the chat. I'm happy to answer the questions that I know. I do have, it's still in layout, but I do have a little sample copy of the book in front of me here. Not quite finished. So if you have any specific questions and want to like a sneak preview of some things, I could potentially have a look at some of those things there. I've got it right in front of me. So now is the time to ask if you have any questions about that. But I'm going to waffle on about some other things as well. Oh, excuse me. Love that COVID drawl I have still. So wherever you're watching this, with EN World Live, we produce content every single week. You'll notice that we used to have a campaign on Tuesdays with Dragonlance. We are on a break from that. We've done season 1. We are looking to come back in season 2. And when we have dates for that, we will announce them. But the cast and Morris, who is the narrator, is keen to carry on that adventure and journey. But you'll notice we have Campaign Thursday here, and that's because, very excitingly, if you're interested in learning more about To Save a Kingdom, we are going to have an actual play for To Save a Kingdom starting in April. I'm speaking to some, I haven't quite got them confirmed yet because we're just sorting out the details, but I have an amazing crew, a cast of people, an amazing GM that is interested in running this adventure path. So whilst the Kickstarter is running, if you're interested in, if you learn better by watching actual plays or seeing a story, we're going to have an actual play running at the same time as the Kickstarter so that you can watch the story unfold and see how the GM uses the book and uses the story to make it happen in front of you. And that's going to be starting in April, just confirming the dates. Wherever you're watching this, you'll be able to watch it there, and it'll be taking place on Thursdays. It looks around 7 p.m. Eastern will be the time that that'll be running. And wouldn't you know, that's just before Critical Role's time slot. So you could sit and watch To Save a Kingdom for 3 hours and then go straight into Critical Role if you enjoy watching Critical Role as well. So that's when the actual plays will be running on Thursdays in April. We'll put more details on enworld.live, so you'll be able to check that out there. We'll also have details on levelup5e.com, and of course we'll also put the details on the Kickstarter page so you can have a look and see that. But they're going to be running through To Save a Kingdom, so you're going to get to watch the story unfold, which I always think is so useful if you're planning on running a campaign yourself, because seeing someone else, how they do it, you can always learn something from other GMs. But that'll be taking place on Thursdays in April. We do have more content every single week as well, so if you haven't tired of hearing my nasally cold COVID-y voice right now, every Monday I host an episode of Not D&D, and that's where we interview different indie tabletop RPG creators and talk about their games. So basically we talk about games that aren't D&D. So if you want to learn about more systems, or if I'm happy to be interviewing somebody that's of a system that's of an interest to you and you want to come ask questions, you can come on to the live stream. We stream that at 10 p.m. British time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern, to translate into US every Monday. Or if you can't catch it live, you can catch up wherever you're watching this later, or we have the podcast version as well, so if you prefer to listen to it, you can do that. Every Friday you can get a summary of the week's tabletop RPG news read by myself, and in 3 minutes I just very quickly talk on waffle through the week's TTRPG news. But if you like more waffle, you want more than 3 minutes, every Saturday myself, Morris, and Peter Coffey do Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk podcast, where we talk for about an hour or two about the week's tabletop RPG news, going through all that. And we also have a topic of the week related to TTRPGs, and we sometimes get guests in, and that's the podcast that we do every week as well. So if you're wanting more TTRPG content, you can check that out there. So that's all the stuff and things that we are doing. So yeah, and that's kind of everything. So you're pretty up to date with what we're doing. Like I said, the next big thing we're doing is To Save a Kingdom, which will be launching next month. I would absolutely love it if you could go and follow the Kickstarter page. That'd be a big help to me, because more people that follow a Kickstarter campaign, it just makes other people see it. It does loads of algorithm fun stuff. So even if you're not quite sure, if you just go on and give that a follow, it's free. It'll be really helpful to me if you would help us out and do that. And yeah, and that's all the details I kind of have there. This week's episode was a week late because I wasn't very well, but we will be back next month. We do the third Thursday of every month, which I believe off the top of my head is like the 20th of April. Yes. So Thursday, the 20th of April, I will be back here. I'll see if I can grab Morris to come on as well, so we can answer more questions about To Save a Kingdom, because the campaign will be live then. We'll also be having our actual play of To Save a Kingdom taking place on that same day as well, so we'll do that a little bit earlier in the day so it doesn't clash. But yeah, that's everything we're doing, and thank you so much for coming along and watching. Thank you for coming and supporting EM Publishing, because we are an independent TTRPG company out there trying to do our thing, and it was really great after the whole situation in January to have everyone's support of Level Up Advanced 5th edition, and it's really great that everyone's ongoing support they have, and I'm really, really excited for To Save a Kingdom and sharing that adventure path with you. I hope you all enjoy it as much as I do, but for now, that's all. Thanks very much.